Okay, guys, welcome to the third day of 30 days of JavaScript. And today we will be solving the third problem from Closures topic, that is to be or not to be. So once again, concept will be revolving about around closures. So let's quickly look into the problem. So problem number is 2704, to be or not to be. Okay, so the question goes like, write a function except that help developer test their code. Okay, it should take any value val and return an object with the following two functions. Good. The first one is to be, that is taking val, accept another value and return true if two values are equals to each other. If they are not equal, it should throw an error, that is not equal. Not to be val, accept another value and return true if two values are not equal to each other. If they are equal, it should return or throw an error that is equal. So basically, we are going to write a function that will return us two objects. The first one is to be val, and this to be val is going to accept another value and it will return fine or equal, or it will return true if both of them are equal. If they are not equal, it will raise an error, it will throw an error that is not equal. Similarly, we have another object that is not to be, which is again taking another value, and if the two values are not equal, then it will return true. If they are equal, then it will throw an error. So this is a typical problem from closures and operators. So how we are going to handle this? Okay, so what we have to do here is, first of all, let's look into what is happening. Okay, so let's look into the problem explanation. What are we trying to do? You are asked to create a function called accept that help developer test if two values are equal or not. So this is the overview of the problem, kind of like a mini testing framework like Jest or something. It should work like this. So see, accept 5 to be 5. Fine, equal, it will return true. Accept 5 to be and null. So not equal, so it will throw not equal. Accept 5 not to be null, not to be null. True. Accept 5 not to be 5. It will throw an error that it's equals to. Okay. So what's happening conceptually? See, let's look at one example. It will take accept 5 and to be 5. Right. So here's what's happening step by step. You call accept 5. This function takes the value 5. Right. It return an object that has two methods. The first one is to be and the second one is not to be. Later, when you call toBe 5, the method need to compare this 5 with the original value. Val is equals to 5. That was passed earlier. But wait, accept means the name of the function, has already finished executing by now. Then how we are going to access that value? And this is where closures come in action. So from past two videos, I have been consistently saying closure is a concept. Suppose this is an outer function, and inside of that we have an inner function. So inner function has the ability to access or to modify the variables which are defined in outer function, even though the outer function has completed its execution, right? So how does toBe function still remember what value was? So that where closure comes in, right? Now let's look into the solution very quickly. So we need to create two empty objects. So we will move step by step. Here we go. So the first step is to create the parent function. So if you see, the boilerplate code has already given that. So var accept is equals to function, and here it's taking val. Now, the next step that we have to do is return an object with methods. Okay, so we'll return an object containing two functions, that is to be and not to be, right? So here we will simply go and write return. Now, what exactly do we need to return? We need to return object that contain two methods. So when I write return and give a curly braces, it's done. So this is the place for my object, and inside this, I will be defining my two methods. What are the name? To be, which is a function, not to be, which is again a function. So here, let me write to be, And what this toBe is? Nothing but a function. So I'll go with the syntax function, and here we have to write our logic. Okay, so this is my first method inside this object. Second one is notToBe, notToBe, right? And this is again what? This is a function, cool. And then, right, now I need to write down the logic for both of them, right? I need to write the logic for toBe function and notToBe function. And what is the logic? Simple comparison, right? So let's look into the third step. Now this is my toBe function, and here if you'll see, this toBe function should take a value, so you can name it anything. Let's name it as new val, right? And the logic is simple. I just have to use comparison operator. So I will simply go with conditionals if val, or let's say new val triple equals to val, then what do we need to return? We simply return true. That's it. And if it's not equal, we will simply return not equal. Okay, so here I will write return, and then I'll go with true. Else, there is an else condition as well. So here, Python syntax. Okay, so here, else we have not to return, but actually we have to throw an error, right? So what is the syntax? It's pretty simple. Throw new error, and then you can write whatever error you want to throw. So yeah, that's cool. So here I'll be writing throw new error, and we will give not equal, not equal, correct. Now since this is completed, my this function is now finished. So here if you'll see, the method is written in a reverse way. So first I'm comparing if it's not equals to, then I'm throwing, else it is true. Okay, so this is the standard practice that you can follow. Now once my this one function is completed, I can focus on this. So new val. Okay. And here, what I will do is, I will go with conditional statements once again. So if new val triple equals to old value, so if it equal, in this case, I have to throw the error. So throw new error, and here I have to just say equal. So that's what it means. Else, in all other cases, I will simply return true, right? Now, this is the code. Cool. So I'm done writing all of my codes, and now I can start executing it. So let's run the test cases. Okay, notToBe function. Okay, so we got some error, notToBe unexpected identifier. Okay, so here what we're messing up with, solution line 5, notToBe function unexpected syntax error. Okay, cool. Just let me. Okay, so notToBe, we are closing this up. We are closing this up. Then we are returning notToBe function. Are you making any syntax error? Okay, so yeah, we are messing around this place. So I forgot this is an object, right? And it has multiple methods, so I have to give a comma, right? Okay, so now since we are done with this part, we can see our test cases are done, and we can basically submit it, right? So this is the way how you can complete this question. And if you need the complete solution and other explanation, I'll share you the link for this board. And yeah, that's it. So let's look into a quick summary of this, right? So basically, you are asked to create a function except that will return an object, and this object will again contain two methods. The first one is toBe and the second one is notToBe. Okay, so toBe, what toBe is going to do? So toBe function will return true if new and old both values are equal, right? Else it will throw an error that is not equal, right? We have another thing, another method inside the same object, that is notToBe, and notToBe function will throw an error if both are equal, else it will return true in all cases. The concept of closure that is used here is how we are accessing the value that is defined in outer function. So this val value is defined here, right? But these inner methods has access to this. Okay, so once again, I'm returning an object. So this is an object. This entire thing is an object, right? And inside of this object, we have two functions, toBe function and notToBe function. And we forgot a comma over here between two objects, and we got a syntax error. So yeah, that's it. And fine, we'll meet in next video and we'll see the next problem. Thanks.